Right, so welcome to Create Your Year with Abundance. I'm Michael White, and I'm going to help you create wonderful abundance in your year. So we are going to do a few things today. We are going to do some TLC, which means To the Light Connect. I just muted everyone. You can unmute yourself if you need to speak, because there was some background noise. And then we're going to do some group magic for powerfully creating goals. And when we're doing that, you know, you can benefit from other people's goals and learn things from what we do on other goals. So, you know, think of your own goals, but also think, okay, I might be able to benefit here from other stuff. And then I'm looking to work with up to 5 people during this webinar, put them on the magic seat. So if you're up for doing that, and you have a goal in mind you want to work on, or some resistance you want to work on, we can do that. And then finally, we have a wonderful list of blocks and resistance to achieving our goals to release. And if any of you have things that occur to you during the webinar, then just put them in the chat and we can clear those too. So that's the plan for today. So let's start off by connecting to the light and take your energy all the way up, about 4,000 miles up out into space, where the light is pure truth, love, and beauty. And bring that down through the top of your head, through your throat, through your heart, through your tummy, through your hips and legs and feet, and go down, down, down to the center of the earth, and feel the unconditional love, support, and acceptance of Mother Earth. And bring that energy up through the earth to your feet, through your legs, your hips, your tummy, your chest, your throat, and your head. So now you've got light coming from above and below at the same time. It's a bit like a divided highway with traffic cars going both ways. And now expand your heart out as big as the room you're in, as big as the building you're in, as big as the city, across the country you're in, as big as the planet, as big as the solar system, and as big as the galaxy, and across the whole universe. So now you have light coming from above and below, and you've expanded your heart out as big as the universe. So that's TLC, To the Light Connect. And notice how you feel when you've done that. So TLC is one of the tools from the book that I'm releasing next Friday, Intuitive Leadership Mastery, How a Conscious CEO Doubled Profits and Halved Stress. You can find that at intuitiveleadershipmastery.com. And so now we've connected each of ourselves to the light. Just imagine there's a circle with everyone who's in this webinar now and in the replay, and all our businesses and goals are in the circle as well. And let's connect everyone in this circle to everyone else with light. So we're more powerful working together. And just bring in any more light from above and below yourself if you felt yourself contract. There we go. Great. So now we've got light coming into ourselves, into our businesses, into our goals, and we're all connected in a big circle. So we're going to do some manifesting so we can create our goals. And basically the way you do that is take light, take your intention, what you want, use your focus, and generate the results. So Who wants to, who has a goal they'd like to work on? If you can unmute yourself. I see some people in the chat. Barbara couldn't find the button.
Oh, I found, no, I found it.
Okay.
I've unmuted as well.
Louise has resistance to being on video. Well, you don't need to be on video, Louise. You can be on audio, but everywhere you have.
I don't mean me. I mean in my business.
Oh, in your business. Okay. Okay. I'll add that onto the list.
Thanks.
So we have Barbara volunteered, it looked like, and Mandy volunteered.
Yeah.
Anyone else wants to volunteer, you can.
I'll volunteer.
Who's speaking, saying they'd volunteer?
Kelly.
Ellie, okay.
Kelly.
So just do me a favor, type into the chat so I know where you are. I can find you. All right, so Barbara, what's the goal? We're going to use the what would it take tool. So WWIT stands for what would it take? And what's the goal you want to work on?
I think the first one is to get to at least 500 pounds in monthly online revenue.
Okay, so what would it take you to get to 500 pounds in monthly revenue? So I took the goal, I put what would it take on the front of it.
Yeah.
And then you just see what inspired ideas come to you. So Barbara was just about to say that. I interrupted her, but I wanted to explain to other people who haven't used this tool. So what would it take to have 500 pounds a month in revenue?
Well, technically it would take, oh, my math isn't very good. 50 sales of a 10-pound product, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first thing although the first number that came to my mind was actually like 5,000 sales.
Maybe, so maybe 5,000 sales of a 10.
Maybe I need a bigger number. Yeah, let's just say 5,000 sales because that's the number that popped in my head.
So you got one idea. Just ask the question to yourself again. What would it take to have 500 pounds in sales every month?
So it would take having at least 10 different products. That popped in my head.
Okay.
So it would take
as you get each of these ideas, you write them down.
Yeah, I'm doing
now,
that.
If you get an idea, you said have 10 products. Now you may know immediately what those 10 products are, or you might ask another what would it take to know what those 10 products are?
Yeah. Well, that's linked to my next what would it take? Well, the thing that it would take would be it would definitely take more clarity.
So what would it take to have more clarity? So you can nest these what would it take. You ask it, you get an answer back, and then if you're not sure how to get there immediately, you can ask what would it take on that.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do with goals and what would it take, you can add modifying words. So I add ease and joy, but you can add whatever modifiers you want in how you want to achieve the goal. Do you want to have ease in achieving it, or do you want to struggle? You want
I see. Yeah.
You want to be in pain while you achieve your goal. And you're laughing, but many people go about achieving goals in a state of pain.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing also because one of my biggest affirmations is the more fun I have, the more money I make.
Mm.
So
what would it take to make 500 pounds every month with ease and joy?
That's a really good question. I'm just writing it down. With ease and joy. With ease and joy, it would take. It would take me allowing myself to be more vulnerable on my blog. I've been thinking about that all morning. I'm just writing it down at the same time. Blog. Well, vulnerable with the right amount of balance, of course. It would take doing more videos with my phone just because I really love those. And it would take Oh, I have to say it. It would definitely take starting a podcast at some stage.
All right, great. So another modifier you can play with is putting a date in there. What would it take to
Yeah.
500 pounds a month by or before March 31st this year?
Yeah.
And I put
Okay.
that date in, but you can play with other dates. You can say by January 31st or by June 30th or by tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing you can do with what would it take, and you know, often we have numeric goals in our business, which is a good thing. And you pick 500 pounds, but you can play with different numbers. What would it take to bring in 600 pounds? What would it take to bring in £5? What would it take to bring in £5,000?
Yeah, but the number I had was 5,000, and I don't know if that's pounds or pages. You know, I don't know what number that corresponds to yet, but that was the first number that popped in my head. So I'll have to play with
So even if your business plan says you want 500 pounds a month, still play around with what would it take on different numbers, because you'll get different inspirations. When you say what would it take to get £1 into my business, you'll have different ideas come from to you than if you say what would it take to have £10,000.
Yeah.
And all of them may help you get to 500, or you may realize that really isn't the right number for right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that opens up the whole numerology number thing. Yep, I get it. Okay, thank you.
Sure. So I'm going to re-mute you. If I can figure out where to do that. Here we are. Or if you are able to mute.
I can do it. I can
do it. Okay. I've got a lot of people in the list. So thank you. And Mandy is going to come in, and we're going to move to another technique you can use. Okay. So Mandy, are you unmuted? Or do you need me to?
I am.
You are.
I got it.
All right. Do you have a goal in mind?
Well, I could say a numeric goal, but one of the challenges is kind of a lack of clarity right now in some new realizations I was telling you about, and not knowing the right direction to move in, because I've been moving in this one direction of where I want to take my business, and halfway accomplished my goal on that. You know, thanks a lot to some of these tools that you're sharing here. But I haven't accomplished all of it, and getting halfway there has made me realize that I'm not sure that this structure is the way I want to fill what I want to fill my time with in my business. So part of it is not knowing.
Work on that, or do you have another goal you'd like to work on right now?
That's a good question. So what I'd love to be bringing in $20,000 a month of profit.
Okay. So, first of all, when you say that again and listen to your own energy as you say it.
It doesn't mean that I don't really believe it's possible. I think that's what I was saying with my energy there.
You don't have strong energy. When you said 20,000, you're almost swallowing the words. So you might, after the call, you might practice being able to say your goal and have it come out clearly from your solar plexus. But let's imagine, let's work on that goal and we'll see where it goes. So imagine you have a line from you in the now to your completed goal in the future. Okay?
A line, what does that mean, a line?
So you're in space-time, and your goal in the future is in another piece of space-time, and you're just connecting them with a line. You're imagining a line between them. And when you have that, imagine that line, do you notice whether it has any, is it a solid line? Does it have breaks in it? Are there weak spots? Does it take wild details?
Yeah. It's a straight line, but I'm noticing that about 85% of the way there's a gap.
Okay,
at the end.
So let's work on healing that gap. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll get there and you won't be able to get to your goal. So this is an intuitive method to tell if there's something in your resistance in your goal. So you've done the TLC where you connect yourself with light from above and below. Imagine that same light coming from above and below at the point where that gap is in your line.
Okay.
And the idea here is to fill it in with so much light that it fills in the gap. And now you have a solid line. Or, you know, another way to do it is to say, what would it take to have a complete, you know, a solid straight line to my goal?
Yeah, what would it take is that I'd have to really be knowing what's going to take me there.
You don't have to, when you ask what would it take, you don't have to know what the thing is. Just asking the what would it take brings consciousness to the issue you want to heal. So it's nice if you get knowledge. Our egos love to hear answers, but it's also possible to heal stuff purely in the spiritual realm and not know exactly what happened. And it still works fine. You may have experienced that with parking karma. I don't know if anyone here has done things to get a good parking spot when you go to the cinema or a mall or somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't know necessarily where that parking spot, how it rationally came about, right? If you've had that experience. Anyway, let's keep sending light into your line, to your goal. How's that line feel to you now, Mandy?
It's there, but it's like it's a lighter line than it's not as thick, the last part of it.
So let's imagine we have a magnifying glass and we can expand out that line so it becomes as wide as a highway. So you can get more light into it. And throw a whole waterfall of light in there. Imagine Niagara Falls of light is pouring into it. And everyone else is listening. You can either be working, you know, can be visualizing your goal and doing the same thing, or you can help Mandy out and throw extra light into her goal from other directions. And I'm getting to, as well as to adding light from above and below, let's add it from the left and right and the front and back and from inside out and upside down. Just every which direction we can get it in there.
Okay. Yeah, now it feels more like a flat road to it instead of a line.
All right. So now say your goal again, so you can see if you sound any different.
Okay. My goal is in 3 months from now to be generating $20,000 of profit in my business.
Okay. And how does that sound to you?
Very attainable.
Great. All right. Great work, Mandy. So who's next on
Thank you.
the list? Thank you. Chat. Ooh. There was someone after Mandy. I know there was. Barbara volunteered.
I remember Shelley volunteered.
Well, we'll do Matty and then we'll do Shelley if you saw Shelley. I'm just looking on the order people volunteered in. Are you ready, Matty?
Yes, I am.
Can you get your microphone nearer your mouth or speak louder?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. So pick a goal. Do you have a goal we can work on?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay. So
Yes.
Are you okay sharing it?
Yes, I am. So I have an invention which I have had in my mind and for 7 years. And I go out with it this year in 6 months. So 6 months time, I have to get it ready to have the patent in and to go public with that.
All right. So what I want you to do for this goal is to imagine what the profit you make from it is over time.
Over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
What do you notice about that graph for this project?
Okay. I'm getting 10 million in 10 years.
But what does the graph look? That's great. What does the graph look like between now and 10 years time? Is it starting off, you know, making profit, or is it making a loss and then it makes a profit? Does it have gaps in it? Does it make it all the way out to 10 years, or does it disappear?
Well, actually, it's a struggle first because lack of money. But when it gets off, it's just right.
So does it start off making money, or does it start off losing
No,
money?
it does not. It is losing money first.
Okay, and does the graph make it all the way to 10 years, or does it have breaks in it?
No, it's quite. I was thinking about the line, and it was straight.
Okay.
No cuttings in that.
Okay. And just to clarify this for everyone, you're not doing a rational financial analysis here. You're using your intuition to feel and imagine what the profit graph looks like. You're just
Yes.
the first image that comes to your mind. You're not trying to figure out, oh, well, if I sell this many units in this year and I have this many costs, this is what the profit is. You know, you're not doing that.
No, not at all.
So everyone else, you can either be working along with Maddie, or you can be thinking of one of your own goals and visualizing what the profit is over what time period you have. So is that graph the way you want it, Matty?
Yes.
Do you want it to make money earlier, or you're happy with how it is?
Well, the money will coming after first year.
Okay.
In 6 months, I will go public, and after first year, it will start making money.
Great. So if you're happy with that, that's fine. If you wanted to change it, if you wanted the money to come sooner than 6 months, you could TLC the graph like we did the line to our goal earlier, and adjust it to the way you wanted it. If it was having a dip and went into losses and then came back up again, you could get rid of the dip. If the graph had a break in it, or suppose it ends after a year, which indicates the project dies after a year, you can see if you can extend it out to be as long as you want it to be.
Well, no, it will extend. It will extend all the way 10 years.
Fabulous. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, Maddie.
Okay, thank you.
And I think Shelley was next, right?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. So do you have a goal in mind?
Yes, I do. I would like to be guided to meet like-minded people in my own country, and to train with the best to become an amazing energy healer.
Okay. So what I want you to do is imagine what your joy is over time as a graph. So if you go from sad to happy in the graph from the bottom to the top, and then you've got time across the horizontal axis, what do you imagine your joy is over time?
Well, my connection is a lot quicker nowadays than it used to be. I can connect very quickly to the light, but also with that, I'm highly sensitive to people's energy, and that has come forwards in leaps and bounds as well. And I sort of hidden that skill for quite a few years now, but it's only recently that I've given myself permission to go back into that field and check that out. And it is an area that I'm really interested in doing.
So if you visualize the graph of how happy you are, how joyful you are.
Yeah, I'd say it's 500 and above.
Okay, but is it the same level of joy throughout the time period, or does it go up and down?
Oh, up and down. It's a roller coaster. It depends who I'm with. That's what I need the trainings to block out the negative energy.
So I'd like you to imagine, if you want that graph to not be a roller coaster, but to be a higher level of joy throughout this process,
Yes.
and light into the graph, into the low parts, and see if you can bring them up. And similarly, if you had any breaks in the graph or it ended early. So this is good if you have, you have a business project, maybe you're opening a new office, or you have a new restaurant, or you have, you're hiring new people. You can look at the joy it gives you. And then if you don't like the way it looks, you can tweak with it to see if you can change it. Or you can decide, hey, this is too unjoyful for me. I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
But better to know that ahead of time.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Yeah.
And it sounds like for you personally, Shelley, you might want to look into how to shield yourself from other people's energy better.
Yes.
So that's what I would suggest for you. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep moving because I have a long list of resistances to
Thank you.
get through. Thank you, Shelley, all the way from Ireland, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Who was next? Let's see. Who was after Shelley? Gosh, a lot of chats. I've got to find who's next. Okay. I'm not. Did someone else volunteer that I'm not seeing? If so, unmute yourself because I'm not seeing you. Louise says she could volunteer.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Louise. Are you still in Thailand?
Yeah,
Fabulous. Thanks for staying up late.
that's fine.
So, do you have a goal in mind?
Yeah, my goal is really around creating more content on a consistent basis and just produce, especially in video, which I'm terribly shy about, and everything that comes that I can, I think, start with video and then repurpose to different formats. But
Okay.
I have to start. I'm resisting so much. I was starting in the new year, and now it's the 4th, so.
Yeah. So I would encourage you to make your goal more specific and add some numbers in. So how many videos do you want to produce every month or whatever the time period is?
The first thing that came was 5 a week, at least for the first month, so that I can use that for other stuff.
Okay.
I don't know
So,
if that's ambitious or.
so we're going to have you talk to your goal. Okay. So imagine
Okay.
your goal is a person who's sitting in front of you. You're sitting in a chair facing them. And ask your goal, what is it that it needs from you to succeed and be happy?
Time commitment.
Okay, anything else?
Commitment.
You need commitment and time.
Yeah. And it needs to be disinhibited.
It's feeling inhibited as well.
I suppose so.
Okay, so for each of those things, you could ask, what would it take to have time? What would it take to be committed? What would it take to be uninhibited for the goal? And I asked that question in general, what does your goal need from you, or what does it want from you? You could also say, what does your goal want from you today?
A script for tomorrow's video.
Perfect. Do you know how to do that, or do you need to, what would it take on the script?
I think I got it.
Okay. And then you could ask, what does your goal want from you this week?
What does my goal want from me this week? Wants me to honor my pledge.
To honor your pledge. Okay,
Yeah.
what would it take for you to honor your pledge?
committing to myself.
Okay. Do you know how to commit to yourself, or do you need to, what would it take on that?
I think I got it.
You got it. All right. So you can always talk to your goal. Often your goal will have greater insight or have messages for you. I mean, your goal may tell you what it needs. It might tell you when it's sad or angry, you know. And, you know, although we think we are humans running our businesses, in some sense, it's our business that creates us. Now, we're facilitating those videos coming into the world. So those videos, in some sense, already exist in another timeline, another dimension, and they've just come to Louise because they figure that's the best way to come out into the world. And the same with any other goal or business that you have. It wants to be here in the world, and you're helping it happen.
So the videos already exist. They just need to come through.
Oh.
That sort of takes the load off.
Right. I mean, have you not had that experience with writing or creating in other ways, that sometimes it just goes so easy, it's like it's already there, it's just coming through me?
I don't know. I have a weird relationship with creating.
Or playing sports or eating.
Also playing sports. Music, no. Food, no.
Music. So sometimes when you play music, you're creating the music. Other times it's like the music just seems to come through you.
Yeah.
So see if you can apply that to your videos. And a way to facilitate that
Thanks, Mike.
is to talk with them. You're welcome. Okay, I saw some more chat. So did someone else volunteer? Do we have another volunteer? Who? Me too. Elizabeth says me too. Oh, okay, Elizabeth. You're gonna unmute yourself from the wilds of Cusco, I assume you're in?
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yes.
So do you have a
Thank
goal you would like to work on?
Well, I had a goal, but I think that I wasn't. No, that's not my goal. I have a new goal.
Okay. So are you okay sharing your goal?
Yeah.
So tell us what it is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I want to balance my home life and my work life, and I want to find peace in the daily tasks, whether it's at home or at work. And I would like to smooth or release my perfectionism and fear of others' opinions.
All right. That sounds like about 4 goals there. So can we pick one of them for now?
Yeah. Let's start with balancing home and work.
Home and work. Okay. So I want you to imagine you're sitting in a chair, facing your goal in another chair. Okay, like your goal is a person. And in addition to yourself sitting in your chair, you're also observing both you and your goal. You're kind of looking from outside yourself. Okay. So now when you look at yourself in the chair, do you have legs, a body, a head?
Yeah.
Do you notice any colors or things that are weird sizes?
Gray.
Some grayness. What does that mean to you in this moment? Gray.
Fogginess.
Fogginess. Okay. And where are you looking?
Like lack of clarity, I guess.
Yeah, fogginess, lack of clarity.
Where am I looking? I'm anxiously staring into the face of my goal.
Okay. So now that's good to note. What's your goal up to? Does the goal have legs, body, and head?
Yes, but it has a division between it in two different colors. There's green on one side and purple on the other.
And what does that mean to you, those colors, in this moment?
That I think I'm maybe comparing apples and oranges.
So it might be difficult to have a balance.
Or also maybe that like both attribute something different because they're in the same being.
Yeah. And where's the goal looking?
All around.
It's looking all around. It's not looking at you.
Mm-mm.
What do you think that means?
Not sure. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's trying to tell me that like maybe that's not the goal for me. I don't know. Or if it's maybe just like it's trying to become so if I think about it as in an entity, right? So like it's a human and that's the entity of my life. Then what I'm doing and what I would be doing is like creating a sense of wonder in my goal that maybe me looking so anxiously at it isn't realizing or recognizing.
Yeah, maybe you looking anxiously at it is making it look all around itself.
Yeah.
So let's shift this. How would your goal like you to be as you're sitting opposite it?
Like calm and just not ignoring it, but just like acknowledging its presence, maybe without being on top of it. So like not stifling it.
Yeah. So instead of having that hyper-focused perfectionism must be super balanced, just accepting this is how balanced I am today. And I'm grateful for the balance I do have. I encourage it to grow into even more balance. And I get more clarity about what balance means to me today. Because balance today might look different from balance tomorrow. I mean, I know you run a restaurant. It might be certain days of the week are more intense in the work and others are more intense in the home.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I harbor guilt on both ends without meaning to because of that sometimes.
So let's clear your guilt. Let's throw light into the guilt you have. And just clear that out of you. So we're going to move on now. If you want to work on releasing guilt, we can do that separately later. All right, is there someone else who wants to volunteer? We have at least one more thing. Yeah, someone who was having trouble picking between big options. You know, someone posted that in the Facebook group that they had different things their business to do and they were kind of incompatible. So whoever those people are, we've covered several methods for seeing with our intuition what something's going to be like in the future, looking at the craft, the profit, the joy, talking to our goal, drawing a line to it. So you can do that with each of the choices you have and see how they compare. And when you're doing that, if suppose you have 3 choices, A, B, and C, throw a 4th one in, something else that you don't know yet. Because it's possible that none of the things your conscious mind came up with are really the best option. So someone wrote into the chat various options from Julie. A monster with multiple heads is your goal, Nicole and Britza. That's very interesting. Do you think that means that it has multiple ways you could do it, or there's multiple options there? So,
hey, sorry.
Hopefully that helps you with different options. And it does help to split it up into stages, Maritza. That's a good thing. I didn't hear anyone volunteer to work through on that, and really it's just using one of the other techniques to work through on it. So does anyone want to do that now, or should we move on to the resistance? Nicole could. Okay, you want to unmute yourself, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay, so you have several options that are kind of incompatible in your business, and you're not sure which to do.
I think that's actually what kind of came maybe, because when I thought about the goal, I was trying to visualize it, it really came as like a big monster of multiple heads, and I felt tiny, like seeing that go. So I don't know if that means like there are so many options, or if it's because I'm still needing to kind of make the goal shorter and shorter, like smaller, actually. So I can actually not be so overwhelmed about it.
Well, what in this moment do you think that information is telling you?
Yeah, that I'm doing too many things at the same time.
You're doing too many things at the same time, too much multitasking. So what would it take for you to focus? What would it take for you to let go or delegate some of your tasks? What would it take for you to say no when people request stuff from you?
Yes, learning how to say no, definitely.
What would it take for you to say no 3 times today? What would it take to say no 1 time today?
I think it's structure. I feel like if I need to keep jumping to that call with a client, but maybe if I actually have structured the content that I actually have to deliver, finally create the course that I should or a program that I should, instead of like jumping that call that takes me 2 hours, I could just like send them, okay, I cannot have the call with you anymore, but here it goes. This can help you.
So what would it take to do that?
Stop taking those calls so I can have the time to actually work on the content.
Okay. Could you practice that conversation with a friend of yours so you get certain about it?
You mean the conversation with a client, or?
Yeah. The conversation where you tell the client, I can't have a call with you today.
Oh, yeah, I probably need to find a friend that I can talk to like this. Yeah. I definitely need to practice that. Yeah, I think I can.
And when you practice it with your friend, make sure you do TLC, you connect to the light when you do it. And as you're saying the thing that you find a little difficult to say, notice if your body contracts, if your energy contracts, you start filling with fear, and then reconnect to the light, and then repeat it until you can say it and be connected to the light while you say it.
Sorry, can you just like say it again?
So when you're practicing saying something that's difficult for you to say,
yeah,
then you connect to the light.
Okay.
And when you're saying it, you notice if you contract your energy, if you start feeling fear or other lower vibrations. And then you reconnect to the light even in the middle of the sentence,
all right,
practicing with your friend. And you keep doing that until you're able to say the whole thing you need to say to the other person with you're still connected to the light.
Yeah, I guess I can also do that while I'm writing emails.
Yes, absolutely. You can practice writing an email, or you can read it out loud and see how your energy is. Do you contract? You still, when you're connected to the light, you feel love or higher in your vibration. So if you're writing the email or you're reading it back to yourself before you send it, and you feel a constriction in your body, maybe your tummy gets tight, your neck is tight, you need to do something to shift that, to change your energy. Because when you send an email, people can feel the energy you had when you sent it. And you can flip this around. If you want people to feel good energy, you can make sure you connect to light. You can put light into the email when you send it. And you could also send light to them at the other side
That's totally
when they're
true.
reading it.
Yeah.
And the same thing with your clients that you're saying no to. You can connect to the light. You can connect them to the light so that they can receive it with grace.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I definitely need to start practicing that, especially on the more difficult emails. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to, if you want to remute yourself, we're going to go on to clearing resistance. So we have a nice list of resistances, and I think we have some that people have added in. So, and I see Maritza volunteered to hear you say no to her, which is very kind of her. So, anyway, everywhere it's not safe, right, and good to achieve my goal, I release and relight across all realities, and just see light coming into your goal and coming into anywhere you feel it's not safe, not right, or not good for you to achieve your goal. And just to clarify this, you know, your goal may make sense in your rational mind, that your goal is safe and it's a good thing to do and it's right to do. But there may be other parts of you, perhaps an injured child self or some traumatized part of yourself or from a past life or your ancestors, that doesn't think it's safe to do what you're doing, doesn't think it's right, and doesn't think it's good. So let's clear all that. Everywhere you think it's not safe, right, and good to achieve your goal, you release, relight across all realities. And when you're doing that, you can see the resistance to your goal dissolving. You can imagine the resistance as a thing in front of you, and you see the light going into it from above and below and just dissolving the resistance. So we're going to move forward. So it's safe, right, and good to use all these intuition tools. It's safe, right, and good to trust these tools and your intuition. Everywhere you fear that these intuition tools won't work, release, relight across all realities. And everywhere you fear that these tools will work, release, relight across all realities. So I just wanted to clear those because we're using all these intuition tools in our own intuition, and it's more powerful if we release blocks we have to using it. So let's go in to these things. And as we're going through these different resistances and blocks that we're clearing, remember you may get borrowed benefits. You may have some level of resistance on the things that other people listed. So don't just wait for the one you wrote in to come up. See if you can feel what's going on with the other ones and clear that in yourself too. In a way, you'll get even more clearing from this webinar. So everywhere you make tasks over complex or you struggle with them, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere hiring bad clients aren't a fit for you, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you don't speak up clearly for what you want, release, relight across all realities. I'm just going to rephrase that one. Everywhere you don't speak your truth in the world, release, relight across all realities and across all ages and across all your ancestors. I think that's one several people have. Everywhere you're not clear about what your goal's success looks like, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid about being clear about your goal, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere that you fear rejection, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of being judged by yourself or others, release, relight across all realities. It's impossible to be judged by others unless you judge yourself, because you have to take on their judgments. Everywhere you're afraid of making a fool of yourself, release, relight across all realities. Let's bring more light in. Let's reconnect everyone to the light. Go up, bring the light down through you, down through the earth, bring it back up, and spread it out. Everywhere you are afraid people won't like you, release free light across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to creating, release relight across all realities. It's okay, it's safe, right, and good to create. Everywhere you have blocks to money, release relight across all realities. Let's just throw a bunch of light into that. Money is just a symbol, you know. It's the meaning we put into it that causes the problems. So everywhere you're afraid of money, or your parents were afraid of money, let's release relight across all realities on that. If you have some water handy, you might want to take a drink of water. It's always good when clearing energy to stay hydrated. Everywhere you don't like having to deal with money, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you believe that money is bad or evil, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you don't allow yourself to accept love and to really feel, release relight across all realities. It's safe, right, and good to feel and to accept love. Everywhere you feel like a passive observer of your life, release relight across all realities. So some of you may know about the 7 chakras in the body. There are also some other chakras, in particular there's one a couple of feet above your head called the soul star. And that's what lights up your reality and makes it you want to be in a body, in a piece of time on this planet. So just imagine sending light into your soul star, because that'll help you feel like you really want to be in a body and creating stuff on this planet. A lot of people have that issue. They don't really want to be here, and that makes running a business very difficult. Or any of the other activities we get up to here on this planet. The other thing is we've connected to the light above and below, to the earth from below. Okay, notice how you feel when you've connected to the light from below to the earth. And now I'd like you to connect to your home planet and see how that feels. And for some of you, that may feel different. And you can connect both to the earth and to your home planet at the same time. And that's what I find works best for getting things done in my business and on this planet.
Michael.
Yeah.
Have you tried to get to the center of the universe?
I haven't, but could do that.
I like it.
Connect to the center of the universe, see how that feels. So you just try it on. If it doesn't help you, you don't need to do it. If it helps you, you can practice doing that. I find connecting to my home planet helps me. If you find connecting to the center of the universe helps you, as well as connecting to the earth, then go for it. Thank you, Maddie. So everywhere you have negatives about work, or anywhere that work hurts your physical body, release relight across all realities. Anywhere you get pains in your back or neck from working, just release that. Everywhere you're not clear, knowing, or lack clarity, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you fear not knowing the destination, even if your intuition tells you the next step, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you have blocks in the way of having large clients, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of large clients, release relight across all realities. Everywhere it's not safe, right, and good to have large ideal clients, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of not being good enough, release relight across all realities. Everywhere you procrastinate on your most important tasks, release, relight across all realities. And let's just throw some extra light into that so our most important tasks shine up brightly so we see them and we really want to do them. Everywhere we have blocks in the way of paying students, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere we are afraid of hiring assistants, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere we're afraid of failure, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere we're afraid of success, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere we're not clear as to what we need to create, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere we're afraid of receiving large amounts of money from people, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of being paid well for speaking your truth, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to speaking your truth, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have negativity from yourself, your staff, and your clients, release, relight across all realities. Let's just have wonderful people come into your life and you to be wonderful and positive. Everywhere your economic growth is stuck, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have harmful people and unpeaceful and unproductive and unnurturing environment with your staff, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to clearing out harmful people and having a peaceful, productive, and nurturing environment with your staff, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have blocks in earning more, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have blocks about creating your own product, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you don't know what to charge or how to structure your prices, release, relight across all realities. Anywhere you have negativity from ex-romantic partners that are blocking your ability to create a happy and successful life and business, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere that you have financial blocks or blocks to a successful business, release, relight across all realities. Julie's asking what relight means. That means you're sending light in from above and below again. So there's some part of your life where you have resistance, where there's not enough light, and you're sending more light into it. Everywhere you have fear of success or fear of failure at the same time, so you're stuck between them in the status quo, release, relight across all realities. And everywhere you have resistance to sharing more openly and regularly what you're doing in your business and life, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you think you need to be mysterious in your business or missing from your audience and clients, release, relight across all realities. All right, some people typed in some. Everywhere you have resistance to being on video, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to being seen, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to being heard, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you have resistance to putting your face out there and in fear of being embarrassed, of hesitating, of being afraid on video, having lack of confidence, and fear of doing something you've never done before, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you procrastinate to create videos and other content, or you create videos and don't upload them, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you resist practicing when you're not perfect already, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of speaking in public, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of speaking to 100 people, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of speaking to 1,000,000 people, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you're afraid of teaching, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you feel stuck in your business or life, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere your energy is drained by your business, release, relight across all realities. Everywhere you resist writing for your business, release, relight across all realities. Okay, I'm just scrolling, seeing if there's any more. Everywhere you resist flowing in your business, release, relight across all realities. All right, so I've gone through all the ones I saw in the chat. Thanks everyone who contributed there. So what will it take to have a successful, joyful, and profitable goal this year? And let's send out clearings to all the resistance that's remaining and be grateful to our goals and to ourselves for having an abundant year. So let me see if I can get this to mute all. So if you have any gratitudes you want to share, I've unmuted everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for supporting the Intuitive Leadership Mastery book. And, you know, don't overdo things today. You just cleared a lot of stuff. I was just drinking some water. If you're able to take a short nap, that might be good for you. Or if you're able to get outside and walk on the grass, those are all good things to do. So, and if you have things you would suggest for future webinars, you know, please message me in the Facebook group or email me or PM me. So have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday and a wonderful 2017.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Light up for everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.